Azure Function is often another step into our automation journey, where the Azure Automation Account, we got some code we can run and it's all pretty much done for us. With the Azure Function, we got a bit more control. We can often do it a lot more with CI/CD. We can control a lot more how it gets triggered, how it connects with different things. I can have it interact with different kinds of systems and triggers. So I can create a function app. I made a consumption function app, which means that I can only get built when it actually gets used. This has the downside that sometimes I have a cold start, so it takes a couple of milliseconds to get my response back. And this function app has a lot of stuff. You can connect to it, you can create a function, and when you create a function, there's like all kinds of templates if the portal will eventually load, where you can also trigger. So I use the HTTP trigger for the one I made, but there's many different ways how you can have your automation start. And if we look at my thing, it already says here below when I open it, connecting to application insights. It has a built-in debugger, kind of console. So when we're connected here now, it will show all the stuff it's doing. And one interesting thing is it has a function key. And when I was first working with this, I was like, function key, what does that mean? It's effectively just an API key. I can create more of them, I can renew it, and I need to give this function key when running the function. When I create a function, I can actually also say the authorization level, and the one I created is set on function. I can also set it on anonymous, then everybody can run it, but I prefer to have at least some control over it, not like with my webhook with the automation account. Although again, if I would just take this URL, we still have the function key here in the URL. So I need to come up with a better way of doing this. I could do it again with the key vault, but we'll look in a moment. So I've got here also a parameter name. Let's make it SRA days. And let's run it. And it should give me back something like, hello SRA days. This is the HTTP trigger function executed successfully. It's just a hello world script. I literally just created the standard function and didn't change anything of it. You can create this also in a couple of minutes. So it has some very nice built-in things. If we go back to our, I didn't have it open at the moment, excuse me. If you would have been in here, and I can show it one more time because I have the time. And we call it again. And we go to the logs. It will normally show up, but because I don't want to run it again, but you can see logs appearing here when you run it. But if you missed it, for whatever reason, they will also appear here in my application insights, where I've got it's executed, it starts you with the request, and it gives me all kinds of information. So it's automatically connected to application insights, and it has built-in logging and tracing. I don't have to worry about that too much. So that's all nice and good. I've got control over the API key. It starts instantly. But there's sometimes a situation where I really want to limit the run to specific users. I want to make sure that somebody has to log in to actually run it. I could do this in the portal, have them log into the portal, do it, but I want to make this a bit more secure. Then I can use something which is called Azure API Management. It's been mentioned today before by Alessandro also. And with this I can put a layer before my function app which will do a JWT validation. So if I look at all my APIs here, by the way, setting up an API management like this sounds very complicated, but you can literally go to the function, to the function app, and just go here to the API management, and then there's a button that you can link it. There's now an unlink API management. You can just link it, you follow a small wizard, and it's instantly connected. You don't have to manage everything. Adding this JWT validation, this portal is not built for being zoomed in. JWT validation, this is a snippet you can add. This one is a little bit customized, but you can add this and add the right parameters. And what it does is it will check if there's a bearer token added to my request. And if not, it will instantly give me a 401 error, which it said, validation, field validation HTTP code. And it will also check if this bearer token contains specific claims. And if it does, I can run it. So if I would run this one without the headers, I get a 401 because I don't give the authorization. And what I do is I connect to Azure, I get my token and add it to the call. And when I run this, it works and it says hello world, because in here there's still the world, but now there's not the key in the URL anymore. And this way I can create an automation triggered by some kind of webhook. I could do this with an Azure Automation account or with an Azure Function, add some authentication to it, and make sure it works correctly. So, with that said, there's no solution which is perfect. Some tools work better for some automations. If you want to have an automation which can easily run on the background, just churning away very cheaply, an Azure Automation account is perfect. There is some tools in there to manage your dependencies also, where with an Azure Function you have to manage this a little bit more yourself. If you really like a bit more a high code approach where you can have it all in VS Code and edit it, an Azure Function is very nice as a tool. But if you just need something very quickly which runs once a month, maybe just this script scheduled somewhere on the management server is also just fine. It doesn't always have to be fancy. But do keep in mind that whatever tool you use, it can fail. So make sure you put monitoring in place. Make sure you have this logging so you can see what failed, how it failed, and you can trigger stuff on this. And try to make sure that you make your automations in a way where you can retry it, where you can rerun it without things breaking. And don't be afraid to use multiple different systems together to achieve your goal. Too often I see people creating automations and they're so fixated on just Azure Functions. It's like, I need to have everything in my Azure Function. Sometimes this is because they have some kind of platform team and every new resource they request is a whole process with forms and so on. But feel free to use these multiple different systems because they all have their value. And with that being said, I think it says here 3, 2, 1, time. Are there any questions?